In today's podcast, I will be speaking about the director Stanley Kubrick. Who was Stanley Kubrick? Stanley Kubrick was an American film director. He was known as an auteur. He was a producer, screenwriter, and photographer. He was born on the 26th of July, 1928, and he passed away on the 7th of March, 1999, whilst he was still working on his last film, Eyes Wide Shut. The first trademark of Kubrick's that I'm going to be talking about is his constant use of emotionally distant characters. Kubrick would often do this to show dehumanization of other characters, and he would do this to express the dark side of human nature and our true emotions as beings. Examples of emotionally distant characters of his are Jack from 1980's The Shining. This is because of the separation between Jack and the rest of his family after they moved to the Overlook Hotel. Secondly, the emotional distance between Bill and his wife Alice in 1999's Eyes Wide Shut. This shows the breakdown of a marriage and how mentally it can affect the two aspects involved. Thirdly, the isolation between David and HAL 9000 in 1968's 2001: A Space Odyssey. This presents the distance in a relationship between humanity and technology. Finally, another trademark of Kubrick's I'm going to mention is his continuous use of one-point perspective. He would do this to view a shot as symmetrical and always keep the main part of the shot in the middle. This could be used on a character, objects, corridors, or long views. Therefore, the use of this shot could be static or moving. Kubrick would do this to view the world in a different way. We don't usually see the world in one-point perspective, and so to do this constantly gives a strong, startling feeling of strangeness. Here are some examples of one-point perspective being used in his films. 1980's The Shining. This is used in a long corridor view to focus on the sudden appearance of the twins. Another one is 1971's A Clockwork Orange, and this technique is used as Alex and his friends are about to act on dark and criminal actions towards the lonely and homeless of society. Finally, here in 2001: A Space Odyssey, the one-point perspective shot is used to create a sense of newness and unusualness. This is because the ship in this film was symmetrical, and because ships of any kind in the 60s were not symmetrical. They were all machinery and uneven. Kubrick's use of this spaceship would then be unfamiliar. And the use of a spaceship in the 60s would then mean that this film was ahead of its time and would confuse the people watching it. It would then give them a sense of strangeness and uncertainty about what they are seeing. Thank you for listening to my first podcast, and if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to stay in tune for my next episodes coming up. I will be talking about reviews on films and other directors and their techniques.